That we have long known that Donald Trump has revered the Nazis. He has revered Hitler. He's read his book. He used to say he had it on his nightstand. Donald Trump has had a very sinister philosophy, wanting to be a dictator, absolutely dividing people up based on who they are, based on factors about them that have to do with their race and their gender, etc.
To compare with Adolf Hitler today, I find it particularly offensive.
Listen, we can fact check, this all day long. David's hot air is not going to rewrite the history of the words that Donald Trump himself has used. This is fact. He has
read the words he said today.
About genetics. I'm talking about the history of everything he's ever said.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about this heated discussion between Trump surrogate David Urban and propagandist and Trump deranged lunatic Aisha Mills. Okay, now a lot of you may have seen this black lady. You may have seen both of these people actually before on CNN, but Urban's had enough of the fake news propagandist Aisha Mills out here spewing lies and calling Trump Hitler, especially after 2 assassination attempts where some people swore that they were going to tone down the rhetoric. They even tried to blame Trump for his rhetoric, leading to his own assassination attempts. These people are evil monsters, and the violence that they say that they don't support, they clearly do, because they don't mind if their rhetoric leads to chaos, pandemonium, and even potentially loss of life. And they really have no moral ground to stand on as it relates to anybody's rhetoric. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a peek at this heated debate.
Listen, this isn't the first time we've heard this kind of talk from Donald Trump, and it reeks of authoritarianism. And it also harkens back to a time of Hitler, who used the same exact language that Donald Trump is now quoting to talk about the people who he thinks are poisoning the blood of the nation. You know, all of this smells like an affinity towards eugenics, which really should give us all pause. Because when we remember the last person, the last awful authoritarian dictator who believed in eugenics, it was someone who really wanted to exterminate an entire people because they thought that they didn't have good genes and because they were trying to create a certain type of race.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This crazy person is trying to say that because Donald Trump made a comment about how these murderers, like it's in their genes, kind of making an offhanded comment, somewhat jovial comment for a very bad and crazy situation where you literally have rapists and murderers coming into the country per ICE data. This is not something that they can deny, which they've tried to deny, but it's something that you cannot deny the truth of this. Now, all of a sudden, she's talking about eugenics and like, what the hell is wrong with this lady?
How about allowing people to come through an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? Many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now. They had 425,000 people come into our country that shouldn't be here, that are criminals.
Donald Trump has himself said that his parents, his father, raised him to believe that they were superior to others because they had good genes. Now, what does that mean? The way he's talking about it is he wants to purge the immigrants, right? He wants to get rid of all of the immigrants and has said that he would do some pretty nasty, harmful things to them.
Illegal immigrants, he said he was going to do a mass deportation. I agree with that. Most of Americans do, per the polls, including Democrats. Let's keep going.
Because they don't have good genes. I don't think that this is just rhetoric. I think that we need to take this seriously and understand where his inspiration comes from. And today, of all days, it is just really savage that this is who he's quoting and that he's quoting Hitler.
Come on, Aaron. I don't want to swear.
David, I mean, is this rhetoric to say you believe in the racehorse theory about bloodlines?
Listen. Hey, Aaron, listen, I'm not going to sit here and put up with this. I am a very good guest normally. But to Aisha, for you to compare Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler on 10/7 is just shameful.
Fact.
Number one, what he was talking about are murderers. People who came into this country and murdered Americans, okay? So let's not try to string together a bunch of quotes that weren't put together. They're different points in time to try to make it look like something he didn't say. He was talking about 26,000 people, rapists and murderers in this country. And he said, in my opinion, and it's not just Donald Trump's opinion, there are scientific studies out there about nature or nurture, about murders, whether they have some sort of genetic predisposition to murder people. And he's talking about the people who murdered Americans, not eugenics, not some made-up BS, Aisha.
Exactly.
So listen, I'm sorry that Donald Trump feels like standing up for people who may have been murdered by immigrants and want to deport illegal immigrants who are here, criminal, violent aliens, and want to kick them out of our country to protect Americans. But that's okay in my case. He's not talking about eugenics. He's not going to compare him with Adolf Hitler today. I find it particularly offensive.
Listen, we can fact check, check this all.
It ain't defensive. It's just nasty, cruel. It really diminishes a lot of the people who suffered because of the Jewish hatred, where it was an actual massacre, right? Like, Donald Trump hasn't committed any mass massacres against any groups of people, and it's shameful for anybody to even invoke Hitler's name, because what you're using is the trauma that those people dealt with, similarly to how people use the trauma of American slavery and civil rights to try to invoke an emotional response to get somebody to support what you support or to not support what you don't support. That's all this is. That's why she's doing it. A lot of these people understand psychological warfare. I want you guys to understand it too, that these people are trying to mentally brainwash and defeat you. And if they can't get you, they're going to try to do your neighbor to mentally brainwash and defeat them so that they can have them under their complete control as a little puppet. Let's keep going.
All day long. David's hot air is not going to rewrite the history of the words that Donald Trump himself has used. This is fact. He has long talked about genetics. Well, I'm talking about the history of everything he's ever said. So you can have a short-term memory, David, for the sake of going into an election and doing Donald Trump's bidding. But this, as an American,
let's talk about Kamala
makes
Harris.
me really concerned.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris
as a black lesbian who Donald Trump doesn't believe has genes as good as his.
Now, see, Aisha, I didn't get it before, but I think I have a better understanding now. So you're a black lesbian, right? So you already telling us from the beginning, from Jump Street, shout out to the lesbians out there, but is probably somebody we're dealing with who has clear mental illness here. Because a lot of these folks, most of the people in the LGBTQ community don't exactly have all the screws tightened in all the way, okay? Like, I'm just calling it what it is. May not be quite as far as like the T with the transgender folks where they just totally bonkers, but a lot of these folks, be them gay or lesbian, something ain't right all the way upstairs. It just is what it is. Everybody knows it. Hell, a lot of them know it too. So, of course, it makes sense for you to come on here and act like some sort of insane propagandist. You hate Donald Trump because he doesn't like scissor action, okay? He likes straight people being together. He is pro-life. Since you're a lesbian, you can't even normally have children unless you do some sort of artificial test tube, like some sort of fertilization nonsense. You can't do anything normally. Right? You're literally the antithesis of human survival, right? Like, that's just what being any type of homosexual is. So that's what it really is. So you're going to paint this man. You just want him to lose. It's personal for you. Get inside these people's head, guys, and realize what the truth is. This lesbian black woman, she brought it up herself. That's what it's really about. She doesn't want strong masculine men, feminine soft women. She wants everybody, all the women to be tough and all the men to be just weak little bitches. That's what she wants. And I'm telling you right now, the answer is no. Okay, the answer is no, and you're going to find out real fast on November 5th. A little ugly ass. Let's keep going.
He's going to attempt to exterminate me
why do you believe
when he gets elected? Because he's damn near said it. That's why, David.
Because he's damn near said it. He hasn't said it, but he's damn near said it. What the hell does that mean?
He's really concerned.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris.
As a black lesbian who Donald Trump doesn't believe has genes as good as his, is he going to attempt to exterminate?
Do you guys think that do you think that this lady has as good as genes as Donald Trump? Are her genes as good as Donald Trump? Look at how this fool is acting. Do you think her genes are as good as Donald Trump? You do realize that is a thing. Like certain people's genes are better. I got asthma. I'm pretty sure it's genetic. That's not a good thing. This isn't a blessing. It's a bad thing. Right? It is what it is. You might have different, like if somebody's short as hell versus somebody tall, most people are going to gravitate toward the tall person. It is what it is. What the hell is this lady talking? Let's keep going.
As an
Aisha,
American,
let's talk about Kamala
makes
Harris.
me really concerned.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris.
As a black lesbian who Donald Trump doesn't believe has genes as good as his, is he going to attempt to exterminate me
why do you
when
believe
he
that,
gets
Aisha?
elected? Because he's
that?
damn near said it. That's why, David. That's why. Okay, and I'm not going to be lectured by some white man who has no idea what he's talking about and is trying to rewrite history here.
Aisha,
I am
shame on you,
afraid,
Aisha.
as an American, of a Donald Trump presidency and his actual quotes
Shame
are
on you,
why.
Aisha.
Because I take him seriously, and I think that he believes what he says, and that is why he is a danger and a threat to America.
Aaron, you can't have a rational discussion.
I
Somebody
appreciate
doesn't want to talk about topics.
All right. Well,
So I wish. I get so tired of this conversation. Oh, you're a white man, so you can't even argue with me. Look, you got two things wrong with you. First off, this was wrong with people like this. So she's like, well, you got two things wrong with you to begin with. First off, you white, one, and two, you're a man. Everything that us black lesbians are against. So this is everything that is the juxtaposition of us. This is the antithesis of being a black lesbian, is being a white man. That's why she hates Donald Trump. She is exposing herself. She admits it outright, guys. This is why you can't listen to or give a damn about anything that these people say. And for those, I've had people like ask, like, why even like bother covering some of these lunatics? Why give them attention? Guys, these people aren't going away. They're not, including when Trump wins. These people aren't being wiped off the face of the earth, regardless of this lunatic pretending like she's afraid Donald Trump's gonna like erase her. These people are gonna be around. So this is a fight that does not end. We got to stay vigilant if you want to protect your kids to make sure they don't turn out like this crazy person with the crazy mohawk shaved on the side and, you know, looking crazy, sitting up there. The white man, you can't talk to me like that, white man. Like, that sounds racist as hell. Imagine being at work and you arguing with somebody and you like, man, you white and you a man. What the hell? Don't you dare step to me. Like, imagine if he said that, like, I'm not about to sit up here and be lectured by this black woman. Like, guys. This is what the Democrats have turned into, a bunch of racist lunatics. And they think it's okay. They think that slavery and civil rights and Jim Crow make being racist today against white people and white men or white women okay. It's not okay. These people are nuts. Guys, let me know what you guys think. You think it's okay to be racist against white folks now? Since, you know, history happened, we're just going to be racist against white people forever now. We're just going to treat white folks bad for eternity now. Because, you know, I mean, y'all wasn't there for slavery and Jim Crow, like most of y'all probably wasn't for the Jim Crow stuff. So you pretty much got like almost nobody around who had anything to do with any of that. You know, maybe people like Joe Biden, right, if you like in your 80s. But for those who are under like their 80s, you're like, what the hell? I didn't even do anything. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rise channel. I'm out.
He's not talking about eugenics. He's not to compare him with Adolf Hitler today. I find it particularly offensive.